Joining me now, Steve Moore, Committee to Unleash Prosperity Hotline, host of More Money on WABC Radio, and Michael Faulkender, former Assistant Treasury Secretary for Economic Policy and Chief Economist at AFPI. Gentlemen, welcome. Michael Faulkender, this was, I guess, unexpectedly poor report, much lower growth. I mean, Atlanta Fed GDP tracker was 2.9. The actual number came in at 1.6. And the inflation numbers came much higher than expected. You got a 3.7% core PCE deflator. It's the worst of both worlds, Faulkender. What's going on here?
Yeah, it really is. But as you said, Larry, this is Bidenomics in action. When you take money, borrow money from abroad, send it out to consumers and tell them to go spend the money. First of all, what we saw is that a lot of it was spent on imported goods. So that's where some of the shock in the report came from, is that the imports number rose so much. But second is that they keep undermining the ability of producers to generate things here domestically. And as you said, last week alone, we got another $750 billion of regulation coming out of this administration. That hasn't even hit the GDP reports yet. So this is very much a sign of things to come under Joe Biden, when you have government telling businesses not to create things because of all of the regulation coming out of Washington, with all of then the borrowed money driving up demand. You know,
Steve Moore, I may have lost half my viewership talking about the Gini coefficient. But I'm defining it. It is the best, most standard measure of inequality. And this is the important point I'm trying to make. Biden says that Trump tax cuts are only good for rich people. That is completely untrue. Middle-income workers had the biggest gain. That we chronicled that before. Larry Lindsay wrote about it. But this Gini coefficient shows that inequality fell under Trump. Let me repeat that. Inequality fell under Trump. It's the first time, what did Lindsay say, in 40 years that such a thing has happened. And Joe Biden doesn't understand it. And in fact, those folks, those working folks, those non-rich folks benefited under Trump, and they yearn for the Trump days. That's all I'm saying. Gini coefficient means inequality. It fell under Trump. It has been rising under Biden.
Yeah, exactly the opposite of what Joe Biden says. He keeps talking about a middle-out expansion. No, this has been a middle squeeze we've seen. The number I like to use on your show, because it's true and it comes from the Census Bureau, is a real $6,000 per household increase in income under Trump. That's a giant number, $6,000 of additional purchasing power. It's down by about $2,000 under Biden. I agree with Michael. I mean, why would we expect growth? I'm surprised we're even going to get 1.6, frankly. I mean, where's the growth going to come from when you got higher taxes? Michael is right. You know, now the burden of regulations each year is about $3 trillion on top of, $5-6 trillion of taxes. And you've got all of these anti-business regs coming out, one after another after another. We can't even keep track of them. They're coming up so rapidly. So one other point, Larry, when you have inflation that's running at, what was the number, about 3.6, 3.7%,
3.7.
We had nominal growth of GDP at above 5%. The problem is inflation is eating almost all of that growth because prices are rising so fast.
Well, the inflation fires are still very hot. That's the point. The Fed wants 2%, and we're moving the wrong way. We saw this in the CPI for January, February, and March. Mike Faulkender, the average CPI for the first 3 months of the year was 4.5% at an annual rate. So lo and behold, the so-called PCE deflator, the core deflator, is up 3.7, a little less, which is what generally happens. But it's going the wrong way. The Fed wants 2, and we're heading towards 4 or worse. And the policies are going to stimulate demand. You know Jason Furman, Mike Faulkender. I know Jason Furman very well. Honest guy, Clinton economist, Obama economist. He's was out, I think he said on CNBC or some station, he said that if you cancel all these student loans, the point is it's going to boost consumer demand, which is going to cause higher inflation, higher interest rates, and higher mortgage rates. A thought on that, Mr. Faulkender?
Yeah, I mean, what Jason Furman's doing is demonstrating that there's still a part of the Democratic Party that hasn't bought into this far-left approach towards government and wants to have credibility after Joe Biden has shown the exit. Because he and Larry Summers have been out there the entire time saying, if you throw this much money into the economy, you are going to get an inflation. And Larry, let's remember, I've mentioned this before, but Larry Summers came out recently and said, if you include mortgage interest payments and car loan payments, that the inflation rate under Joe Biden wouldn't have peaked at 9, it peaked at 18. And so if you go to the traditional way, the way that we measured inflation back in the 70s, and you include those numbers, and therefore really identify the impact on household budgets, inflation has been far worse than the official statistics would have you believe. And that's why Joe Biden's so far underwater. And you've got a couple left-wing Democrat economists who want to still be believed sometime in the future and are actually calling out his party.
Well, by the way, Jason Furman will be on the show tomorrow, so haven't seen him in a while. Good for him. Steve Moore, how about this regulatory story? There's two things I want to explore. One of them is new regs from Biden will basically attempt, it'll all be challenged in the courts, but it'll be attempting to end coal, to end new natural gas, end coal, end new natural gas plants. They've already ruled out new LNG plants. So, Steve, just on that narrow regulatory slice, there's others. I know there's over $1 trillion in total cost. Who's going to power the economy? You know, you have to have electricity. Now, wind and solar is a tiny portion of our total electricity. If you take out natural gas and you take out LNG and you take out coal, I'm not sure what is left besides the windmills in the year 1200 AD in Holland, which we had on the screen a couple of nights ago. What's left besides all these Dutch windmills?
Yeah, not much. By the way, I want to say one last thing about this inflation story because it's important. Larry, do you know the last incumbent president who ran for re-election with an inflation rate this high? Jimmy Carter.
Yeah,
Jimmy Carter against your guy Reagan.
That's too
Americans
easy.
hate inflation.
That's way too easy.
What?
I thought you were going to ask me a hard question. That's way too easy, Jimmy Carter. Blame Carter.
Well, my point is,
talk about the power. I'm interested in this power story.
On the power.
You can't close down power and have a strong economy. I mean, you just can't. And the Bidens think you can, and I don't understand this.
We get 80% of our energy today from old-fashioned wind, coal. Oil, gas, and coal, you know, the fossil fuels. The regulation, I want to make sure your viewers understand this. Biden is putting out a regulation that says all freight that's transported across America, tens of billions of dollars of freight every single day, has to be on a carbon-free form of transportation. That includes our rail, our trucks, and our ships. Now, what are you going to do? Are we going to use sailboats to get our stuff across the country? Can you imagine this, Larry? You've got a 10-ton truck that's carrying a huge cargo, right? And they have to go across the country. You're going to do that with a battery? I mean, the batteries don't even exist. I mean, this is nonsense. It's almost like as if they're intentionally trying to destroy our economy. You destroy a country's energy supply, and its economy will not function.
Mike Faulkender, that's not the only regulatory issue. And so let's go back to American Action, whatever it's, you know, Doug Holtz-Eakin's think tank, American Action Forum. So Joe Biden's final rule costs are $1.37 trillion. $1.37 trillion. Barack Obama's much more frugal, $303.1 billion. That's still a big number until Biden came along. Donald Trump, $30.1 billion. All right, Trump $30 billion. Obama $300 billion, and Biden $1.4 trillion. What does that tell you? That's a disregard for free market capitalism. That is an emphasis on what Newt calls big government socialism, top-down regulatory state, jamming stuff down our throats that we don't want. That's all that is. And you know what? That's why his economic polls are so terrible. People know all about this. They want to buy a gasoline-powered car. They want to buy, you want to buy an EV, fine, buy an EV, but don't tell me I have to in the next 5 years, and don't tell me you're going to spend trillions of dollars subsidizing student loan cancellations. I mean, really? People aren't, you know what, Faulkender, this great thought just occurred to me. People are smart, not stupid. The trouble with the Bidens is they think the average voter is stupid, not smart.
Right.
How about that?
Yeah, and Larry, the thing is that these are numbers coming straight from the administration. So this is what the Biden administration is telling you is the economic impact. Do you think that that is going to understate or overstate the true number? Right? The true number is going to be significantly higher than that. And so, and the Trump number actually was negative if you were to do a lot of the analysis the right way. Because if you count all the deregulatory activity we did, we actually took regulatory costs off of the American economy. So the contrast between the two visions could not be more stark. And Larry, let me mention one other thing, which is they are in regulatory overdrive right now because we're approaching what's called the CRA deadline, right? So if they don't get these rules done and Trump wins again and the Republicans have both the House and the Senate, we can use the Congressional Review Act to undo things that are done with so many legislative days to go. They're trying to cram everything in now. So these numbers are not final. We've got a few biggies still to go
but I'm
so
crushed.
that they can get under the deadline.
I'm crushed you didn't comment on the brilliance of my insight that ordinary people are smart. They're smart. That's the basis. That's the essence of free markets. They know how to act in their own self-interest. And the Bidens don't believe that. The Bidens think only pro-Hamas Ivy League graduates are smart. Okay? I got to get out of here. I'm getting into a lot of trouble.
They want to now, what happened this morning, the FCC announced new regulations on the internet, for goodness sake.
I know. We got Ajit Pai coming on and take care of that. Gentlemen, thank you.
Good.
I just think it was a great insight on my part. Steve Moore and Michael Faulkender. People are smart. That's the essence of free market capitalism.